rise and shine. So talks money, the future's alive. Grab your coffee, let's take a ride. It's wealth and wisdom, time will arrive. Author, Mr. Educator, team sharing the wealth, building things you should do. From trust to breaking, it's all a must. Your guide to what this money means. Legacy matters, secure it right. Dreams take shape with every insight. Rules and assets, life insurance plans, building for your future with expert hands. So talk money and more, raising wealth with knowledge galore. Asset protection, plans to grow. Tune in and watch your dreams overflow. From saving today to trust for life, breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. From saving today to trust for life, breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. So tune in now, it's time to learn. So wisdom's your return. Invest your tech and pride for sure. Signing off is old talks money and more.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to rise and shine for another edition of Soul Talks Money and More. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, investor, opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted and I am so excited and so delighted to be here with you this third Monday in Financial Literacy Awareness Month. Gotta say thank you to my WMPR and WGDQ listening audience, as well as my YouTube viewing audience. I certainly appreciate all of the support, the love that is being shown to me. Mr. Sherry Jones was briefly in the house this morning, and he gave me a bottle of water, Mr. Armstrong, to quench my thirst. That's love. All righty. Recap quickly of my weekend. Last weekend, I was down in the Hub City with the lovely ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Those are my sorors. We had a good time down at Brewman's Coffee Shop there on Highway 49 and I-59. Had a book signing down there, and Iota Kappa chapter was having their celebration and came in and showed Dr. Williams a lot of love, and I certainly appreciate that last weekend. And this past weekend, I was right here in the capital city with the beautiful ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That's right, the JMAC chapter was having a financial literacy awareness event at Jackson State University, VI Love. My former workplace, and I tell you, my sisters, my Delta sisters came through. Yes, sir, you heard me say it. Those are my sisters too, because in the beginning it was just one, and just like everything else, we got divided, but that's okay. Those are all my sisters, my Delta sisters, my Zeta sisters, and my Sigma Gamma Rho sisters. We're all sisters. We are all about service to all mankind. So I certainly want to thank JMAC chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated for allowing me to be a part of your program on Saturday. There were lots of parents out and other individuals, and the children were there, and they were certainly blessed by the wonderful presentations that were presented at the program this past Saturday over at Jackson State University. VI Love. Now, Saturday, May the 3rd, I will be in Bolton, Mississippi at the St. Thomas Missionary Baptist Church. Shout out to Sister McGee for organizing that event. I'm looking forward to taking the message of building, protecting, and properly transferring wealth over to Bolton, Mississippi on May the 3rd. I'll be at St. Thomas Missionary Baptist Church. We're looking forward to being with you in a couple of weeks. Just by way of reminder, I do want to mention the Blessed to Bless event that we are having right now. every book that we sell during the month of May, and that is our physical books, we are taking $5 of the sale of that book and putting it into a pot on the first Monday in May when I am on the air, which is actually happens to be my birthday, you guys, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. So y'all gonna have to ring these phones on May 5th. Now next week y'all can lag and lag and lag, but on my birthday, May 5th, y'all gonna have to show Dr. Williams some love, because on May 5th, we're gonna be doing a drawing. Those individuals that purchased the book in April, we are going to put all those names in a pot. We are going to do a drawing, $5 from the sale of every book will be put in that pot. And whomever name is drawn will have an opportunity to bless a mother during the month of May. We know May is Mother's Day. So I said it from the start when we started this journey. The whole goal was to not just make money to put in our pockets. Our message is too big for that. It is not about money. It's all about you people. And we want to put this money back into our community. And we're going to start with our mothers. We are blessed to bless others. So this is the way it works. I know you guys have heard of Double Good, the popcorn fundraiser, and Lord knows I've heard of it. If I bought one bag of popcorn, I bought many. But we're doing triple good over here. So the first blessing is when you buy the book. You certainly help our efforts to get this messaging out. You are blessed because you are the recipients of the word. Certainly, if you will implement the information in the book, you will be blessed. I assure you. And then the third blessing will be whomever name is drawn, you will not be able to keep the money for yourself. You will be required to pass it on, as Patty LaBelle says. When you've been blessed, pass it on. So we will definitely contribute that money to the mother of your choosing. Okay, so that's how that works. We're blessed to bless others. And I'm so looking forward to being able to kick it off on May 5th, my birthday. That's the way it's my birthday, and I'm going to celebrate it the way I want to celebrate it. And we're going to celebrate it with blessing other folks. So looking forward to that. Now, today, I got to get into this messaging because this is something that has been on my heart for a while. And just want to talk about the cost of financial illiteracy. We know that, as I've said, April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And you may be wondering, why is it important to educate people about finances? Why is financial literacy even relevant? Well, it's because there is a cost associated with being financially illiterate. Now, some of you may know that I am a doctor. Of course, when I introduced myself, I said I am Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams. But you may not really know what kind of doctor I am. No, I am not a medical doctor. Let me just dispel that. I am not a medical doctor, but I do aim to heal the financially sick through education. By degree, I am an engineer, specifically an industrial engineer, or as we like to say, an IE. I am an IE. Those of you who have purchased my book may have noticed that on the cover of my book, my name is written as Sabrina Edmond Williams, PhD, IE. And most people probably naturally assume that the IE stands for industrial engineer, or some people may simply not even notice and maybe not even care. And that's cool too, okay? However, just like everything else about my book, my name is written with intention. And the IE aligns with my purpose, my passion, and my calling. Allow me to explain. I got to go around the world, but just stick with me and you'll understand it better by and by. Just stick with me. There was a movie many of us are familiar with. We usually see it during the Christmas holidays. It's called A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. You guys remember old Ebenezer Scrooge and how mean and nasty he was, and just how he treated people, and how he had to have his, as we like to say, his come to Jesus moment. And he had that in the form of visits by 3 ghosts. You may recall the ghosts were the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas future. During the encounter with the ghost of Christmas present, this particular ghost had 2 children hidden under his robe who appeared to be sickly, starving, and neglected. Yeah, these children were representing not the best, but the worst. The young girl represented want, and that's W-A-N-T. She was in want. And the young boy actually represented ignorance. Now, the ghost warns old Ebenezer Scrooge that ignorance is the most dangerous, saying, beware of them both want and ignorance, and all their degree. But most of all, beware this boy. Remember, the boy is ignorance. For on his brow I see that written, which is doom, unless the writing is erased. For on his brow I see that which is doom, unless the writing is erased. Now, in the movie, the scene is meant to highlight the dangers and consequences of society ignoring poverty and lack of education, especially among the poor. That moment in the movie represents a wake-up call, not just for Scrooge, but for society in general. Dickens is showing that if we continue to ignore the needs of the poor and uneducated, especially poor and uneducated children, we are headed for destruction. We are headed for destruction when we ignore the needs of poor and uneducated children. Now, you may be wondering, where am I going with all of this and how this story relates to money or financial literacy or even my name, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, PhD, IE. I'm glad you asked that question, and I'm glad you're wondering, because that means you're listening if you're wondering. You see, when we apply this scene to financial literacy, especially in the context of our community, it is indeed just as relevant and just as much a wake-up call today as it was during Dickens' time. Ignorance represents the lack of knowledge about finances, systems, and how to build, protect, and properly transfer wealth. Want represents lack, financial lack, generational poverty, and constant struggle. Now, what's the message for us? What is the message in all of that for us? I believe the message is, if we don't educate ourselves and each other about money, specifically things like budgeting, investing, estate planning, and asset protection, then ignorance will grow. It will continue to grow, and we will continue to fall into the same financial traps. Want stays, because we're not building or properly passing on our wealth. And like the ghost says, doom follows, meaning cycles of poverty, broken legacies, and systemic exploitation continues. Financial illiteracy keeps us in chains, people. We thought the chains were broken when they took them off our hands and our feet, but financial illiteracy keeps us in chains without knowledge and without resources. So that means when we stay in a state of ignorance and a state of want, our community remains vulnerable. This is exactly why financial education, conversations about money, wealth building, estate planning, generational wealth, protecting what our people have worked so hard for. These conversations need to happen in our community. They're not just nice to have conversations, people. These are necessary, need to have conversations. I challenge you to think about something. Most of us were with our families over the holiday, this past holiday, just this weekend. We celebrated Resurrection Sunday yesterday. How many of us had conversations about building, protecting, or properly transferring wealth as we sat around the dinner table with our families on yesterday? How many of us had those conversations? How many? Now, what does all this have to do with where I started? The IE in my name. I told you I was going to bring it full circle. I just needed you to stay with me for a minute. You may recall I mentioned Dickens said what he saw on that young boy's brow. You know, that young boy that represented ignorance? What he saw was doom, doom, destruction, unless it is erased. Unless it is erased. Now, the only way to erase ignorance, my people, is through education. So Dr. Williams is a self-professed, self-declared ignorance eraser. Yes, I am an industrial engineer, so I am an IE. The state of Mississippi declared that. But the good Lord put me on a mission, you guys. I'm out here trying to erase ignorance as it relates to our finances. My mission is to educate as many people as possible about the importance of building, protecting, and properly transferring wealth. As many people as possible. You know, last year I talked right here on this very show about goals and, you know, not being so overwhelmed by other folks' Project 2025. And I challenged you to think about your own Project 2025 and what that looks like for you, your family, and your community. And for me, what that means is I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to educate as many people. In fact, my goal is to reach 2,025 families in 2025 with my messaging of the importance of building, protecting, and properly transferring wealth. I don't have a choice, you people. I don't have a choice, good people. I do not have a choice in this matter. Dr. Williams is receiving too many calls from families that are struggling, families that are suffering because there was no plan put in place to properly transfer their wealth to the next generation. I received a call last week from a young lady who actually started the conversation something like this. She said, I don't listen to you on the radio. I said, okay. She said, but my aunt does. My aunt listens. And she thought you would be a great person for me to connect with because I have a problem. And as I sat there listening to this young lady share her story, her horror story that if I've heard once, I've heard twice, I've heard 3 times, many times. The horrors, the heartache, the hardships, the heartaches that result when our loved ones fail to plan properly for the transfer of their wealth after they are gone. I sat there and I listened to that young lady talk about her story, and I would never divulge that private conversation on air or anywhere else because that's between she and I. But what I will tell you is as I listened to her and I heard her heart, In my mind, I could only think about the battles that each of us fight when we don't plan well. We fight battles, people. And I have to wonder, why do we fight when stuff ain't, and I use that word, yes, I did, ain't set up right from the start? We fight for stuff that's not even set up right. So in the end, no matter how long these probate proceedings last, I want you to think about something. Who's the biggest winner in all of that? Who's the biggest winner? You know, I have a girlfriend that went through a horrible experience with the person she thought was her husband. That's a whole story right there. Yeah, she thought he was her husband. Her marriage license said he was her husband, but in the end, she found out differently. But this particular friend of mine actually was in a battle with her husband for many years. And it all resulted from her learning that the assets that she thought, or the life that she thought that they were building together, he was building with somebody else. And I remember talking to her at one point, and she said, Sab, that's what they call me, some folks. My husband will get a kick out of that, Sab. He said, you know, I'm tired. And I think it's just time for me to walk away. And of course, I wondered at that time, and why would you do that? Why would you just let him win? Why would you walk away from everything you've worked for? And she said, you know, Sab, every time I go to court, my attorney has to file another motion and I go back before the judge, that's more money that I have to pay. And I just see my savings account is being depleted every time I go back to court. So I would rather just take my loss. I'll take this L. I'll get what I can, whatever we can agree on, and we'll keep it moving. And I'll keep what little I have left in my own pocket. That message is for somebody out there that is continuing to fight for stuff that ain't even set up right. It was never set up right from the start. And I'm here to tell you guys, in the end, you may win, but you won't be the biggest winner. You will not be the biggest winner. The court will be the biggest winner. If old brother James Brown, the godfather of soul, could come back and talk to us, I think he would tell us, based on how long his estate stayed in probate, that you need to get your affairs in order while you can. The cost of financial illiteracy is very high, you guys. It's very high. And the reality is, I sit here week after week after week, and I'm talking, trying to educate our people on the importance of building, protecting, and properly transferring wealth. Now, I know many of you are wondering, maybe wondering why I do what I do. Well, I do it because of what old Charles Dickens says. What he saw written on the brow of that young boy called ignorance. He said there was doom, destruction, downfall, unless that writing is erased. So Dr. Williams is here to do her part to erase it. Now, for those of you that don't know where to start or don't know how to start, the first product that I have offered and I continue to offer to you is a book. I went through an experience myself, got myself out of it, dug myself out. And I documented my journey. I put it in a book, not for me, but it was for those that would follow after me. You see, we don't all have to make the same mistakes. Sometimes it's best to learn from other folks' mistakes, missteps, so that we don't have to travel that same road. So we have a book, Learning to Trust, the Black Family's Guide for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth. The book is available in print, digital format, and audio. So whatever medium is best for you to learn, it's written, it's no fluff. It's written very straightforward. And I'm sure everybody that reads that book will either see themselves, their family, their friends, or somebody they know, because I share my story in a very straightforward, honest, transparent way. For those that read the book and need some assistance in getting their affairs in order, I've also designed a companion Learning to Trust estate planning boot camp that is offered virtually. You can learn, you can get your legacy together from the comfort of your home, right there on your laptop, in virtual sessions, 6-week course, very affordable course. And I encourage you, if you have not done it, I compel you, don't just listen to me talk week after week after week, knowing that you have not gotten your affairs in order. That's just like going to church every Sunday and sitting there and listening to your pastor do the altar call, knowing that your life is not right. I'm here to help you, people. You my people. We good people. I am here to help you get your affairs in order. I can do it with you. I can show you how to do it. I can tell you what to do, but I cannot do it for you. There are just certain things we got to do for ourselves. The good Lord entrusted those things to you. Your assets are yours. That means you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to be a good steward of those things. What does stewardship look like? I heard someone say that they were talking to a guy and he said, I'm just going to leave my stuff and let these kids fight over it after I'm gone. And honestly, that is not what good stewardship looks like. We have got to put some plans in place. We have got to put some things on the paper, just like we got the boots on the grounds. We got to put the plans on the paper, people. We got to get it done. My boot camp starts the next session on May the 13th. As I say, it's offered virtually. It's a 6-week course. We meet for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Once a week, I will guide you through what you need to do. Now, if you're listening to me and you hadn't done it, my question to you is why? Why do you choose to remain financially illiterate? Perhaps it's because you don't understand the costs. For those that would like to join the boot camp or would like more assistance, would like to even look at the products, the book, if you want a sample of the book, you can call me, text me, let me know how to get the sample to you. I'll send you a free sample. But for those that are ready to implement, and that's what 2025 is all about, implementation, I encourage you to visit my website, www.iamsonoted.co. And that is spelled IAMSEWNOTED.co. IAMSEWNOTED.co. Please visit my website. Go ahead and sign up for the course. We invest in everything else that we want to do, what we want to eat, where we want to go. Let's invest in ourselves and our legacies. Let's go ahead and get this done. Dr. Williams is here to help you. And I'm looking at the clock and I see that my time is actually almost expired. It's coming to an end, my friends, and it's been real. I've enjoyed being here with you today. I thank you for tuning in to me and listening to me. And I encourage you to continue supporting this station, WMPR 90.1. You can view my show, those of you that are online. I appreciate my online folks. I see I got a lot going on in the chat this morning, but please visit us on YouTube at I Am So Noted, and that's IAMSEWNOTED. Or you can stream the show online at WMPR90.1.com and 93.1 WGDQ.com. Join me right here next Monday at 7 a.m., which is the last Monday in Financial Literacy Awareness Month. If it's 7 a.m., so it's going to be right here talking money and more, unless the good Lord says otherwise. Peace.
Shine, so talks money, the future's alive. Grab your coffee, let's take a ride. It's wealth and wisdom, time will arrive. Author, Mr. Educated, sharing the wealth, building things you should do for trust. Breaking it's all a must. Your guide to wealth is money and trust. Legacy matters, secure it right. Dreams take shape with every insight. Rules and assets, life insurance plans. Building for your future with expert hands. So talks money and more. Building wealth, knowledge galore. Asset protection, plans to grow. To read and watch your dreams overflow. From day to day, you transfer life. Breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. From day to day, you transfer life. Breaking generational wealth divides. Healthcare directives, banking tips. We're here to help your fortune eclipse. So now it's time to learn. So wisdom's your return. Invest, protect, and thrive for sure. Signing off is what talks money and more.
Saturday, May 24th, the New Hope Community presents the Get Together for Christ 2025 Gospel Explosion at the Fair Community Center, 2420 Oak Brandon Road, 12, Mississippi. Doors open 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m., featuring Dexter Williams and the Disciples. Songs of Joy, Rings of Faith, the sensational